Good afternoon. In this session, I am going to show you how to create a lambda function and trigger it through S3 object insertion event and record the logs in CloudWatch. So for doing this exercise, these are the steps we have to follow. First thing, I need to create one S3 bucket, and in the second point, I need to create a lambda function with the following configuration. I have to keep the function name runtime environment as Python, and I need to create a new role that is for a service to service communication. Here the role name I have to specify as S3 read. Under the policy template I have to choose S3 object read only permission. So finally I can create a function, and after that inside your lambda function I need to add the triggering, then where I have to select the source as S3, where whichever the bucket you created, that bucket you have to choose, and you can keep the event type as all objects create events. Finally you can click on I acknowledge and add this triggering. And in the lambda function I need to keep this sample source code to get the events which is generated in the S3 bucket, so that to be recorded in the CloudWatch. So finally I need to deploy the application, and for the testing purpose I need to upload some objects in the S3 bucket. Whenever you upload something in the S3 bucket, automatically the lambda function gets triggered. Finally you can see whatever the objects and whatever the buckets available in your S3, and the metadata of the data, everything you can get it in your CloudWatch. So let's do the same with the demonstration. So first thing, I need to create one S3 bucket. So I am going into the service called S3. I am working with the North Virginia region. Go to S3, and so now you create a new bucket. So the region it is by default US East 1. So I am keeping it as, I am keeping the name as usual. I will follow test underscore CC990. So this name is globally unique. So the students are asked to keep your own bucket name, not to give the same name what I have using. So followed by object ownership, you can keep it as ACL enable, and you can unblock all the access and give the acknowledgement. Bucket versioning enable. So finally create a bucket. So you can see that this is already exists, so I am adding few more digits. So now you can create a bucket. Still it is exist. So bucket name shows some invalid characters, so that is a test hyphen C990. So definitely this will accept. So okay, now I am created one empty bucket with a name test hyphen C990. That's it, no need to do anything. I'll duplicate this tab. So now I'll work with the lambda function. Open the service called lambda. So now create a new function. I don't have any existing function, just to click on new function, and keep the function name as function1. Choose the runtime as Python 3.8, where you need to choose the IAM permission, that is the role you have to choose. So this is very important. Why? Because lambda is a different service and S3 is a different service. If I want to access something from S3, so I need to provide the roles, that is temporary policies I need to give. So that choose this third option, that is create a new role for new policy template, where you can keep a role name. So that is S3 read only, or you can keep any name here, and under this policy template search S3, and the second option you have to select, that is Amazon S3 object read only permission. If you don't have this permission, the lambda function cannot able to retrieve anything from the S3 bucket. So that's all. You can accept the remaining configuration as such and create a function now. So what will happen is it will create one sample test file. So okay, now you could see that there is a sample code which will display now. See that it is a sample lambda underscore function dot python file which will display some hello from lambda test message. So now what I should do is, so I need to integrate your lambda function as well as S3, that is I need to enable the triggering. So here you can find the option called add trigger. Click on this add trigger, where I need to select the source as S3 because I need to trigger the S3 only. Click on S3. Now give the bucket name. So my bucket name is test-c990. Okay, I am choosing this bucket, and the event type by default it is all objects create event. You can keep the same. If you want to change anything, you can select and do changes. For our exercise purpose it's not required. You can keep it as all objects create events, and followed by keep the acknowledgement and click on this add. So that's all. Now both lambda and your S3 bucket is connected now. So now what I need to do is I need to verify whether the test events is happening or not. So the thing is that whenever you upload something in your S3 bucket, the lambda function need to be triggered. Finally you can see the execution result under your CloudWatch. The CloudWatch actually available under your monitor tab. Go to monitor, and if you click on this CloudWatch logs, it will show the logs. So now what I need to do is, so this the symbol function is given. So up to this I am deleting and simply I am printing the events. Let's see, I am just printing the events, and I need to deploy it. No need to test this function, simply deploy this function, that's it. So now what I need to do is in your S3 bucket I need to upload something. So that is what I am doing. I am creating one simple notepad file. So I'll do one thing. I am creating one simple notepad file. This is cloud infrastructure and services. Simply I am keeping one text statement. You can keep it anything, or you can create a new file, or if you have already a old file you can take it. Simply save this. So that is sample dot, it says the file name it is sample, that's it. I'll close and show you again. So see that this is the sample file. If you open that file, you can see that this file contain, this is a cloud infrastructure and services. Okay, so that's all. Now you see that, so I will try to upload this file into my S3 bucket. Simply upload it, and simply click on this upload. So that's all. Now it is uploaded successfully. Now go to your lambda function. You no need to do anything because you already deployed. Testing is not required. Whenever the file is uploaded in your S3 bucket, automatically this lambda function will trigger and it will retrieve all the events. Let's see whether it is happened or not. Now go to monitor and go to CloudWatch events. See that there is a log group created and which contain only one log. See that now the log is created, which is 1420. Now only it is created. Click on it and see that all the logs are created. If you extract this, it will show the entire information, that is the entire information in terms of and what is the bucket name and what is the object name, everything which is visible. You see this, you can see this, that is the bucket name is test-c990. You can see all the data. So what the bucket name and owner identity and the A1 of the bucket and whatever the objects available. You see that sample.txt, which is the file available under the bucket, and what the file size and everything is displaying. So now both are connected. Okay, so now let me do a small revision in the code. That is, what I need to do is, so I'll take this code and explain you. So I'm going to add this code to you. So the first thing is, I want to import a JSON. I want to import a JSON and Boto3, and Boto3 actually this is one of the library which is used for getting or connecting with the AWS services. So where what I am doing is, here I am creating one object, so that is S3, that is client object, one object I am creating with the Boto3 library, and these two, this indicates that the bucket name which indicate that, which will retrieve from the S3 object, which will retrieve only the bucket name, and this one indicates that which will read the file of the object file. It will read the object file. So the first one is, so this one which will return your bucket name, the second which will return the object name. So after that I am printing both bucket name as well as the object name. So that is the meaning. So this print bucket name and print bucket object is given. And this third one, the third important point is that response equal to S3 dot get underscore object of bucket is equal to the bucket name and the key is equal to bucket object. The meaning for this line is that, so which will retrieve the metadata. So this will retrieve the metadata, and finally I am printing the metadata here. So this statement which will print the metadata of the particular object, and the last two lines which indicate that, the fourth important point is that, so if I want to print the object and the data available inside your that's object, so if I want to retrieve that, so I can use the data is equal to response of body dot readout, and if I am printing the data, now it will display the available content which is available in the sample.txt data text file. So let me replace this code. So what I am doing, I am simply copying these codes and now replace this code, and once again repeating, this line indicates that you will get the bucket name. So this line indicates you will get the object name, and this indicates the metadata of the particular object. This the 11th line indicates you will get the objects. So that is data inside your objects. Let's see. So the thing is that you need to deploy first. First I am doing the deployment. So now go to your S3 bucket, simply add the same file. I'm just adding the same file one more time. So because you already enabled versioning, the new file you will get. Simply I am uploaded the file. So okay, now the upload gets successful. Now see that again you will get only one file because you recently updated the version. Let's see. Now go to your lambda function, again go to monitor and click on this CloudWatch logs. Previously one log is already there for the previous execution. Now you can see the second log. You see that now log stream is executed. The second log is, the recent log is a topmost one. Click on this log and you see that, see this result. See that here I am getting test C990. So this is the execution for the line number. See that this one, the 7th line execution is this one, the test hyphen C990, and this 8th line execution is this one, the sample.txt file, that is bucket name, this is the object name, the followed by the metadata. So this print of response which indicates it will return the metadata of the object. So metadata is simply nothing but the detailed information like the last modified date, last modified time, what the length of the particular file, and what is the content type, whether it is HTML file or CSS file or PDF file or plain text, and the entire details about the file is retrieved here. Here you can see the logs. And the last one, as I already told you, so this is the file, that is the thing which is available inside your object file. You can see that the last one, see that I kept it as this is cloud infrastructure and services. This is the only content available inside your sample.txt file. You see this sample.txt. So it will retrieve these information, and this is to be printed in your CloudWatch. So that's it, we have achieved our agenda. So what we did is we created a simple S3 bucket and a lambda function. Whatever you have uploaded, the files you have uploaded through your S3 bucket, and that is to be triggered by the lambda function, and now all the logs which is available in your CloudWatch. Thank you.